Some foods are more than something we eat. They become a language, a memory, a smell that can pull us back into childhood, into a family kitchen, into a late-night street corner, or into a small restaurant glowing softly at the end of a long day. And few foods have traveled across the world quite like pizza. A circle of dough, a layer of tomato, a little cheese, a hot oven. It sounds simple, but somehow, this simple food became one of the most recognized meals on Earth. From Naples to New York, from Tokyo to Sao Paulo, from small family-owned pizzerias to frozen boxes and home freezers, pizza has become a global comfort food. But why? Why did pizza, out of all the foods in the world, become so universally loved? The answer is not just in the cheese pull. It is in history, migration, street life, family, creativity, and the human desire to gather around something warm. This is the story of why pizza became the world's favorite food. Before we talk about history, picture the moment. A pizza comes out of the oven. The crust is blistered and golden. The cheese is bubbling. The tomato sauce is bright and warm, carrying the sweetness of cooked tomatoes and the deep aroma of herbs. Someone slices it. The knife presses through the crust with a soft crackle. Steam rises. Hands reach in before anyone says a word. That may be one of pizza's greatest powers. It does not ask people to be formal. It invites people to share. A pizza can sit in the center of a table like a little sun, and everyone gathers around it. Children, friends, co-workers, travelers, families. It is casual, but emotional, simple, but full of possibility. You can eat it walking down the street, sitting on a couch, at a birthday party, after a long shift, or in a restaurant where the oven has been burning since morning. Pizza belongs almost everywhere. And maybe that is where its global story begins. Not with luxury, but with accessibility. To understand pizza, we have to travel to Naples, in southern Italy, a city by the sea, a city of narrow streets, open windows, markets, voices, movement, and food that often reflects the energy of everyday life. The exact beginning of pizza is still discussed by historians, and flatbreads with toppings existed in many ancient cultures long before modern pizza. But the pizza we recognize today is closely tied to Naples. In earlier centuries, Naples was a busy and crowded city, where many working people needed food that was affordable, filling, and easy to eat. Pizza fit that world. It was not originally a luxury dish. It was practical. A piece of dough, baked hot, topped with ingredients that were available and flavorful. Tomatoes, which had traveled from the Americas to Europe, eventually became deeply connected with southern Italian cooking. Cheese, olive oil, garlic, herbs, and simple dough came together in a way that was both economical and satisfying. For many people, pizza was street food before it was a global symbol. It was food for workers, food for busy neighborhoods, food made by skilled hands in hot ovens, served quickly and eaten with hunger. And in Naples, making pizza became more than a recipe. It became a craft. The pizzaiolo, the pizza maker, learned how to stretch dough by feel, how to manage the heat of the oven, how to balance toppings, and how to turn simple ingredients into something alive. That craft is still respected today. In 2017, UNESCO recognized the art of Neapolitan pizzaiolo as part of the world's intangible cultural heritage, not just because of the food itself, but because of the knowledge, gestures, and community behind it. Pizza was never only about what was on the plate. It was about the hands that made it. No story about pizza is complete without mentioning pizza margherita. It is one of the most famous pizzas in the world. Tomato, mozzarella, and basil. Red, white, and green. The colors of the Italian flag. A popular story says that in 1889, during a visit to Naples by Queen Margherita of Savoy, a local pizza maker named Raffaele Esposito prepared a pizza in her honor. According to the legend, the queen enjoyed the version with tomato, mozzarella, and basil, and the pizza became known as margherita. Like many beloved food stories, the details are debated. Some historians suggest the pizza existed in similar forms before that moment, and the legend may have grown over time. But whether the story is completely literal or partly symbolic, it reveals something important. Pizza was beginning to move from the streets into the imagination of a nation. A food once strongly associated with ordinary people was becoming something people could celebrate, name, and remember. That is one of the ways food becomes iconic. Not only because it tastes good, but because people begin to attach stories to it. A name, a place, a color, a memory. Pizza Margherita became more than a combination of ingredients. It became a symbol of Naples, of Italy, and eventually of a certain kind of simplicity that people around the world could understand. But pizza did not become a world favorite by staying in Naples. It traveled with people. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, many Italians left their homeland and built new lives abroad, including in the United States. They carried with them language, memories, family traditions, and food. Among those traditions was pizza. In cities like New York, Boston, Trenton, New Haven, Chicago, and others, Italian immigrant communities opened bakeries, restaurants, and small food businesses. At first, pizza mostly lived inside those communities. It was a taste of home, a familiar smell in unfamiliar streets. For immigrants working long hours, food could become a form of comfort and identity. A reminder that, even in a new country, parts of the old world could survive. But slowly, the aroma began to travel. Neighbors noticed. Workers tried a slice. Local customers became curious. The food that once belonged mainly to immigrant neighborhoods began to move outward. In New York City, G. Lombardi's is widely remembered as one of the earliest licensed pizzerias in America, opening in 1905. From there, pizza's American chapter began to grow. And America would change pizza forever. In the United States, pizza found the perfect environment to expand. Cities were growing. People needed quick, affordable meals. Factories, offices, schools, and neighborhoods created a culture of takeout, lunch breaks, casual dinners, and late-night eating. Pizza fit easily into that rhythm. It was inexpensive enough for everyday life. It could be sold by the pie or by the slice. It could be shared by a group or eaten alone. It could be delivered. It could be adapted. And adaptation became one of pizza's greatest strengths. In America, pizza did not remain exactly the same as it had been in Naples. It changed with local tastes, local ingredients, and local creativity. New York developed its large, foldable slices. Chicago became known for deep dish pizza, with its tall crust and rich layers. Detroit-style pizza grew into a rectangular, crispy-edged favorite. New Haven developed its own coal-fired tradition. Each version told a local story. Some were closer to Italian traditions. Others became uniquely American, but together they proved something powerful. Pizza could travel without losing its soul. It could change shape and still be pizza. That flexibility helped it become global, because when pizza entered a new country, it did not demand that every culture eat it the same way. It made room. Around the world, pizza became a canvas. In Japan, you might find seafood toppings, sweet corn, or mayonnaise-based sauces. In Brazil, pizzas may appear with hearts of palm, creamy cheese, or even sweet dessert toppings. In India, paneer, chili, and spiced vegetables can reflect local flavors. In the Middle East, flatbread traditions and pizza sometimes meet in creative ways. In the United States, pepperoni became a classic. In many places, vegetarian versions, halal options, vegan cheese, gluten-free crusts, and regional sauces have made pizza more accessible to different communities. This is not a sign that pizza lost its identity. It is a sign that people welcomed it into their own lives. Every culture that adopts pizza adds something. A memory, a flavor, a local habit, a family preference. That is why pizza feels both global and personal. It can be traditional in Naples, fast-paced in New York, playful in Tokyo, generous in Sao Paulo, comforting in a suburban kitchen, and nostalgic in a college dorm room. Pizza belongs to the world because the world keeps finding itself in pizza. Part of pizza's popularity is also sensory. It brings together textures and flavors that many people find satisfying. The crust gives structure. The sauce adds brightness. The cheese brings richness. The oven adds heat, aroma, and sometimes a smoky edge. A good pizza balances softness and crispness, saltiness and sweetness, freshness and warmth. But the emotional side may be even stronger. Pizza is often connected to moments of togetherness. Birthday parties, movie nights, first dates, after-school dinners, team celebrations, late-night conversations, moving day, game day, a Friday evening when nobody wants to cook. For many people, pizza is not just a food they like. It is a food that shows up when life is happening. That makes it powerful, because favorite foods are rarely only about flavor. They are about timing. They become part of the background music of our lives. Pizza's rise was also shaped by business. Small pizzerias helped build neighborhood traditions. Then delivery shops, frozen food companies, and global restaurant chains carried pizza into places where traditional pizzerias might never have reached. This part of the story is sometimes debated. Some people prefer old-school, handcrafted pizza. Others grew up loving the convenience of delivery pizza or frozen pizza at home. But both versions helped pizza spread. The neighborhood pizzeria gave pizza heart. The global chain gave pizza reach. Frozen pizza made it easy to keep at home. Delivery made it part of modern convenience. Television, movies, sports culture, and advertising helped make pizza familiar even to people who had never been to Italy or an Italian-American neighborhood. Pizza became visual, recognizable, a hot box on a doorstep, a slice in a teenager's hand, a shared meal in a sitcom, a cartoon turtle's favorite food. Pop culture turned pizza into an icon. But the reason it stayed popular is deeper than marketing. People kept choosing it, again and again, because it worked. One of the most beautiful things about pizza is that it feels democratic. It can be humble or gourmet. A slice from a corner shop, a wood-fired pizza made by a master pizzaiolo, a frozen pizza baked at midnight, a homemade pizza made by children with uneven toppings, a carefully crafted pizza in a fine restaurant. Pizza does not belong to only one class, one age, or one occasion. It can be cheap, expensive, simple, elegant, traditional, experimental, fast, slow, local, or international. Few foods can move so easily between worlds. That may be why people love it. Pizza does not make people feel like they need to understand complicated rules. You can simply reach for a slice. And yet, if you want to look deeper, there is endless craft beneath it. Fermentation, flour, heat, cheese, tomatoes, technique, regional identity, family heritage, immigration history. Pizza can be easy to enjoy and difficult to master. That combination is rare. Today, pizza is everywhere, but its meaning keeps changing. For some, it is a link to Italian heritage. For others, it is a symbol of American comfort food. For many, it is simply the meal that brings everyone to the table. In a world where people are often busy, divided, or far from home, pizza offers something simple: a shared center, a reason to pause, a food that can be divided without feeling separate. Every slice belongs to the same whole. Maybe that is why pizza has such emotional power. It reminds us that food does not need to be complicated to be meaningful. Sometimes, the most beloved dishes are the ones that make room for everyone: the traditionalist, the experimenter, the child who only wants cheese, the friend who adds chili flakes, the family ordering half and half because nobody agrees. Pizza accepts disagreement better than most foods. It can be many things at once. And maybe that is the secret. Pizza became the world's favorite food because it is not only one story. It is thousands of stories baked onto one crust. So why did pizza become the world's favorite food? Because it began with simplicity. Because it traveled with people. Because it adapted without disappearing. Because it could be shared. Because it could be personal. Because it could be eaten at a palace, on a sidewalk, in a family kitchen, or from a cardboard box on the floor. Pizza is history you can hold in your hand. It is migration, memory, craft, comfort, and creativity. It is Naples and New York, tradition and reinvention, a meal and a moment. And every time someone lifts a warm slice, somewhere in the world, the story continues. If you believe every dish has a story, subscribe and join us as we taste the world, one plate at a time.